Hey, welcome. Have you ever wondered how businesses, actually make their big decisions? It can seriously feel like they're speaking some kind of secret language. Well, today, we're going to crack that code. We are diving deep into the playbook that pretty much every firm uses to figure out production and costs.
It really all comes down to a question like this. Think about it. A small shop hiring one more person? That's about solving a problem for today. But a huge company planning a whole new factory? Well, that's solving a problem for tomorrow. These two decisions are happening on completely different timelines. And that, right there, is the key to understanding how every business thinks. So, before we jump into the how of these decisions, we've got to get a handle on the why. I mean, what's the ultimate goal of any firm, really? What's that one single purpose that drives every single choice they make? Okay, so at its very heart, a firm is just an organization that turns inputs into outputs. Let's take our t-shirt shop. The inputs are things like blank shirts, ink, and of course, the people running the printing press. The technology? That's the printing process itself. And the output? A cool, custom t-shirt that's ready to be sold. You can almost think of it as a little transformation machine. Now, a firm can have a lot of different goals, right? Like maybe growing its market share or being known for quality. But the one North Star, the ultimate driver, is almost always maximizing profit. And the math is simple, but it is powerful. It's just the total revenue you get from sales minus the total cost of making everything. The bigger that final number, the happier everyone is. To get that profit number as high as possible, firms think in two totally different time frames. And listen, this isn't about days or months on a calendar. It's all about flexibility. You've got the short run, which is basically asking, what can we do right now with the stuff we already have? And then there's the long run. That's about asking, what could we become if we could change literally everything?
All right, let's start with the here and now. The short run is all about making the absolute best of your current situation. You've got certain constraints you just can't change overnight, so you have to be really smart with the levers you can actually pull.
So in economics, the short run is technically defined as any period where at least one of your inputs is fixed. For our t-shirt shop, the building itself, that's a fixed input. You can't just magically double its size tomorrow. But you can hire more workers or buy more ink. Those are your variable inputs. You can change those pretty quickly.
So, what do you think happens when you keep adding a variable input, like more and more workers, to a fixed input, like your one little shop? Well, this is where a super important economic principle comes into play. It's basically the rule book for all short-run production.
This whole law unfolds in 3 stages, and it's all based on something called marginal product, which is just the extra output you get from adding one more worker. Okay, so stage 1, increasing returns. Your first few workers can specialize, right? One prints, one folds. Each new person actually adds more output than the last person did. Your marginal product is rising. But then you hit stage 2, diminishing returns. It's starting to get a little crowded. You're still making more shirts for sure, but the extra boost you get from each new worker is getting smaller. Your marginal product is still positive, but it's going down. And finally, stage 3, negative returns. This is just chaos. Workers are bumping into each other, getting in the way. Adding another person at this point actually makes you produce fewer shirts. Your marginal product literally becomes negative.
This all leads to a really critical takeaway. A rational, smart producer only operates in stage 2. So why is that? Well, in stage 1, you're not getting the most out of your equipment yet. You haven't hired enough people. In stage 3, you've hired way too many and you're actively hurting your own production. Stage 2 is that sweet spot. It's where every worker is still adding value, even if the gains are starting to get a little smaller with each hire.
Okay, and this is where it all connects. Your production efficiency has a direct mirror image effect on your costs, and this relationship is the secret behind one of the most famous graphs in all of economics, that classic U-shaped cost curve.
Just think about it for a second. In stage 1, when each new worker is super efficient and adding a ton of extra output, what happens to your cost to produce each t-shirt? It goes down. But as you move into stage 2 and those efficiency gains start getting smaller, your cost per shirt stops falling and it begins to creep back up. And that's what creates that perfect U-shape. Costs fall, they hit a minimum point, that's maximum efficiency, and then they start to rise again. It's a direct reflection of those 3 stages of production we just talked about.
Okay, so we've tackled the now problem, but what about the next problem? Let's shift our focus to the long run. This is where firms get to really dream, to plan, and to fundamentally change their entire operation from the ground up. You can define the long run with just one word: freedom. Suddenly, nothing is fixed anymore. Our little t-shirt shop isn't stuck with its small building. Now, it can decide to build a massive factory, buy brand new automated machinery, and completely reinvent itself. Every single input is on the table.
So all this freedom leads to a brand new strategic question. Is bigger always better? I mean, does scaling up your company automatically make you more efficient, more profitable? The answer might actually surprise you. So at first, getting bigger is fantastic. This is what we call economies of scale. As you grow, you can afford a massive, high-speed printing press that a small shop could only dream of. You can hire specialized experts for marketing, for finance. You start getting bulk discounts on your blank key-shirts and better interest rates on loans. All of this works to drive your average cost per shirt way, way down. But, and this is a big but, if a firm gets too big, that trend completely reverses. This is called diseconomies of scale. The company becomes this slow-moving giant. Decisions get totally bogged down in bureaucracy. Departments stop talking to each other. Employees start to feel like tiny, unimportant cogs in a giant machine, and they lose motivation. All this inefficiency actually makes the average cost per shirt start to rise again. So, what we've seen is that there are two totally distinct playbooks every firm uses. There's one for the day-to-day grind, and then there's one for the grand strategic vision. Let's put them side by side and really see how they stack up.
So, let's break it down. In the short run, at least one input is fixed. Your decisions are all about the law of variable proportions, and the big question is, how much should we produce today? But in the long run, all your inputs are variable. Your decisions are governed by returns to scale, that's the whole economies and diseconomies of scale thing, and the question becomes much bigger. What is the perfect optimal size for our entire operation?
And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. Every single business decision, whether it's a coffee shop hiring a new barista or a tech giant building a massive new data center, it fits into one of these two playbooks. So the next time you see a company make a move, just ask yourself, are they solving a short-run problem or are they making a long-run transformation? Is this a now problem or a next problem? Now you've got the framework to know the difference.